Hey everybody, it's Jenny and I'm back with you again today to share how I planned this week in my planner. As you can see, I am going through all of the different printed photos that I've already printed based on the pre-planning that I did in my little pocket traveler's notebook. And I had printed a whole bunch of different sizes and a bunch of different photos. And so now I have to sort through those and figure out which one is for the week that I'm going to be working on. Now, part of these is, as you can see in the notebook, sorry, I'm trying to figure out the best way to say that. I just jot down little notes to myself, and ordinarily I can figure out which photo is which. Sometimes, though, they all kind of start to look alike, so you will see how I handle that too this week. And it's really fine because I am pretty flexible about this project and don't consider it to be anything to get stressed out about. So I just work with it, go with it as it is, and you will get to see that in a little bit. As you can see, there was last week in the Big Happy Planner, and now I'm peeling up that photo because that's the one that I realized it actually goes for next week, the one that we're going to be working on, and it was a different photo that was supposed to go in that spot. So I'm going to just trim up the one that's supposed to be there, use my Tombow mono adhesive to adhere it right there. I had to make sure it fit first and I didn't need to trim it down or anything like that, and then just get it right down there stuck on there. And see, it worked out just fine. It wasn't any big deal at all. Now, sometimes I tuck in little items into the planner, like for future planning, like you just saw right there, and you've seen in the past as well. And now I have removed the left-hand side just for ease, so that when I'm ready to actually get to planning, it's already out. And now I'm trimming down my photos as well. Now I have kind of a weird layout this week in terms of photos because I have a bunch of them, and I need to sort of figure out how they're all going to go. But I'm going to leave these just as they are in the left-hand side, so I'm using that Tombow mono adhesive to adhere those photos down to the page. I've got a square photo, I've got a larger photo, I've got the whole run of it, don't I? Now I'm also going to be doing something a little bit different this week. First of all, I'm using the Gossamer Blue planner kit from June 2017. It's beautiful. There's lots of gorgeous colors and I love the whole thing. So what I'm going to do, I know this is revolutionary. I'm going to put my photos down and decorate. Then I'm going to go back and plan. It's a little bit weird, but honestly, I love doing stuff like that because it kind of breaks me out of my ruts. So this way I can sort of regain some of the creativity that I might feel like I've been losing. So now remember, on the right hand side there's a ton of photos, so that's definitely something I'm going to have to work around for the second half of the week. And at the bottom of this week I have a large photo. Now this is that Gossamer Blue kit. There are some really pretty elements in here. There are those fun die cuts, there's some 3x4 cards, there's puffy stickers, there's regular stickers, there's washi strips, there's enamel shapes, those little dates, they're awesome. There's patterned paper. I mean, there's just a lot of really, really pretty stuff to decorate your planner pages. And I'm really excited about it because, again, it's different for me. It's not the same thing that I normally use. And I love branching out and I love trying new things. And I find that it just really jumpstarts my creativity very much. Now, as you can see, I'm going to do a little layering cluster right there in between the two photos. I want to have this whole like visually interesting thing going on, and I want to just have a little bit of decor as well. And so I'm being mindful of the activities that I have for that week that I know I need to include. So I'm definitely trying to leave some space for those so that I'm not trying to figure out what to do at the end when I'm like, oh my gosh, where am I going to put the little thing about practice or whatever. I'm just using that mono adhesive to adhere that cute little frame down in between those two photos. I just absolutely love it. It just looks great right there, and it looks kind of fancy, yet it's not because obviously, you know, one of the photos is a baseball photo, so that's not fancy at all. And I'm going back through all the die cuts to see what else I can add to this little cluster that I'm going to have right there. And there's some really great ones and a bunch of just eensy weensy little ones. They're just so tiny and fun, and I just really kind of loving that, you know? Now, as you can see, there's just definitely some different designs and stuff that I'm used to working with, like that little tag that I have sitting down there on the page with the sunburst, starburst, color burst pattern. I just love it. It's super cute. Now I'm going to continue to just build and layer on this one little cluster right there. And then once I'm happy with what I've got, I'm going to use the adhesive to adhere them down to the page. I just love the way it turns out. It's so fun. Now these are those enamel shapes and they're great for the dates, and I'm going to add the date right there in the frame where I have the layering of the different die cut shapes. I love that it gives it a tiny bit of dimension. These are thicker, but they're not super thick. Now, as you can see, I'm breaking out my favorite dual brush markers from Tombow again, and I'm writing the majority of what needs to be written in the tip, the finer tip, but then I'm going to highlight it with one brush script word. And I really kind of love the way that turns out because it makes it look special, yet I'm not writing the whole thing and overdoing it with the brush lettering. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere down that die cut I had placed at the top. I was a little unsure as to where I was going to go with that, so that's why I didn't adhere it right at the beginning, because I needed a little bit of time to think about what else I might add or what direction that might take. Now the little kite is a little bizarre in terms of, does that really go with baseball? No, pretty much not. But I wanted to make it really whimsical and really fun, and so that's why I thought, what can I do? The kite is perfect, sort of draws your eye up from the bottom of the page, which I really like a lot, and it's just a fun, playful sort of summary idea, the kite, anyway it fits in with that theme. So I love it right there, and it's different, and I like that. So now that I've got all of those elements already adhered, I'm going to start working on the rest of the layout, but I've got to kind of think about some of these die cuts, and I realized, ooh, some of these little teeny tiny ones, they have numbers on them. Can I use those to put together a time? And that's exactly what I do. So I take 5, 3, and 0 to mark the time, which is 5:30 for that baseball game that is pictured right below. And I think that's just incredibly clever. I'm just so smitten with the idea. I think it turned out really fun and different, and I love it. Now I'm just going to write the information for that baseball game with the dual brush marker, and that color, I know you've seen me use it 100 times. I can't even help myself. It's just so pretty, but I think it really goes well and it stands out, and I love the way that it all comes together. Now you can see it's time to start working on the right-hand page. And that is where all the photos are. As you can see, they're just loaded up right there. And now I'm pretty comfortable with the overall design. So I'm going to use the Tombow mono adhesive to adhere it down. And I like using this adhesive in my memory planner because, as you saw earlier, it's easy enough to pull the adhesive up if you need to, but it's super strong, it's super sticky, and it doesn't take a lot. And quite frankly, the tape runner itself is very, very easy to use, and it's refillable. And those are all things that are important to me. Everybody's got different priorities in terms of what they choose in their supplies, but I like the ease of use, and then that it's super, super sticky. I've been a paper crafter for a really long time, and I know what happens when you do not use a quality adhesive. So I am very interested in using something that has some staying power. Now you can see that I've added a couple more little die cuts in between some photos, and I am really excited about how well they pair with my photos. The weekend banner is just super cute. I love how it matches my planner perfectly. That sail away is awesome since it was a fun weekend trip, and that just seems absolutely just perfect right there. Now I layered a couple more little die cuts to go over that baseball game photo, and I felt like the ice cream cone had that perfect sort of feeling. It really just, summer and baseball and all those things go together really, really well. Now, as you can see, I am adding some brush lettering to tie in with the other brush lettering that I did on the other side, and then also to highlight the important part of this photo, which is my son's team being the champions for their league for this season, and then just writing in the little details on that tag that I had already, or label that I had already added right there above the brush lettering. So the brush lettering is kind of like that added bonus. I didn't need to write that, but it was just sort of like a abbreviated journaling for the photo as well. I'm going to put the left side back in so that I can look at the whole thing as a whole, because now I'm not finished embellishing. There's still more that I want to do, but I am done with the majority of it. So I want to take a look at the whole layout together, because while it's really, really important to have my halves looking good, it's also very important to have the whole thing look good together. Now I'm measuring the size of the box, and you're thinking, Jenny, you do this every week. You don't know the size of the box. I totally know the size of the box. But I subscribe to that theory of measure twice, cut once, because I have had that happen where I've taken a wonderful piece of paper, cut it, and then it's completely unusable because I cut it to the wrong size. So it doesn't hurt me at all to measure something I already know the shape of or the size of. And so this way I am assured to not mess something up, and it was very, very simple. Now I've decided to go ahead and add that little tiny bit of patterned paper in those two boxes just for something added and cute and fun. I love these patterns, and that light mint green color is really pretty. I just think it's super fun to add that little bit. It makes the whole thing feel a little bit more cohesive as well, as opposed to just being something you sort of slap together. It gives it that little bit more finished look as well. Now I'm just going to try to use a couple of the stickers, like so right here on this little word fetty type sticker sheet. I'm just going to add that right there below the brush script. And again, I love the really linearness with the brush lettering as well. Now that's all the decor. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start adding all of the different activities, like, you know, the planning part of it. So I'm taking out a few stickers and stamps from my stash and going to add it to the decorating I did with the Gossamer Blue Kit. And I will link you up in the description of all of the different things that I am using, including these really super cute Planner Junkie stickers. They're some of my favorites. They're just absolutely wonderful. If you have not tried them, I absolutely encourage you to. And I have a discount code for you in the comments below, so make sure you check that out. I think that you will be very happy to have a little discount, and I will be very happy if you used it. Now, as you can see, I'm going to use the peekaboo boxes to point to that super cute little baseball. It's one of my favorite techniques. It's so, so, so cute, and especially when you only need to jot down just the tiniest of reminders or things to jog your memory. I love using those because it is super adorable, but yet you don't need a whole lot to make it work for you. Now I'm going to break out some stamps, and I'm going to use this larger box and ink it up with my black Versafine ink and just stamp that in the Wednesday morning section, and then use the teeniest, tiniest little icon sticker or stamp. I'm sorry, I'm not going to use a sticker. That'd be crazy. Just kidding, it totally wouldn't be. Now I'm just cleaning off my block. It was getting a little bit cloudy and I wanted to make it crystal clear again, and so I was just wiping it down with the baby wipes. And I can't say enough that you do not scrub them. You just wipe the excess ink off. Just give it a wipe. Don't scrub it. You wouldn't want to tear it. Some of these stamps can be very, very delicate in terms of like the thin little designs or whatever. You wouldn't want to tear it. That would be awful, because then you'd be like, oh my God, now I just ruined the stamp. So anyway, moving on from my diatribe about cleaning off your stamps, but a simple baby wipe will do. Now I'm going to use this very cute little sticker from Lily Henry to notate this baseball game, and so then I'm going to write on there with my PaperMate Flair pen the information from that, and then also fill in just a little bit for an activity up in the top hand box, also using my PaperMate Flair pen. Now sometimes I like to use stickers, sometimes I like to use stamps, and sometimes just a simple little bit of journaling with a pen does the trick, and I don't need anything at all in addition to that. Now I'm just digging through my stash of stickers trying to find the absolute perfect one. Yep, I think that's it. One of these colorful, pretty ones that will go with the thing that I need to write in here. So I'm just going to stick it down, and then I'm going to take this stamp and ink it up and then write in the flight details. So the Versafine ink works great on top of these stickers as well, which is just a matte sticker paper. It's not a shiny one, so it doesn't need any special treatment, and it works out great and it makes it very cute. And I love that about those plain stickers, that you can just personalize them and make them anything that you need them to be. Now, one of my favorite simple sweet stamp shop stamps that I can write in right there, the activity. And then in addition to that, I'm also going to use one of the little teardrop stickers as well, just so I can write the time on there. Now that's one of my favorite things to do with the teardrop stickers. I know a lot of people often ask like, oh, what do you do with those? Or how should I use those? I think they're really, really helpful. And there's lots of ways that you can use them, but one of my favorites is to add a time to a sticker box or something like that where maybe you didn't have enough time or enough room to write that on there. And so a simple little teardrop on the outside looks really, really cute. And then you can also add the information necessary. It's just a tiny little thing, but I think it adds a little bit of fun to the layout as well. Now I'm just adding the tiniest little bit of, obviously it's just one word that I added with my pen, but hopefully that will jog my memory because obviously that's a space needle and obviously I should remember that that's Seattle, am I right? Now I'm just adding one more little baseball related sticker over on Sunday and you must be thinking, oh my gosh, is baseball over yet? Yeah, no, it never ends. I'm just adding the particular information there and I'm loving that because it ties in great with the color palette, especially because this is memory planning. It's one of those things that I wouldn't maybe use in my day-to-day as much. So now I'm just going to finish with this last sticker and then add the baseball icon, fill in the information, and then that's it. I'm all done with this week. Thank you so much guys for stopping by and watching my video. I really do appreciate it. I hope you know so how much you guys mean to me that you watch my videos and you leave comments and stuff. Anyway, if you have any questions, leave it in the box below. I'll do my very best to get back to you. Thank you so much. Make it a great day.